One of my favorite episodes of SpongeBob is the Season 3 episode, Craborg. SpongeBob watches a scary robot movie and then becomes very afraid of robots taking over. He even takes Mr. Krabs, thinking he's a robot. In the episode, SB129, we get a glimpse of the future of Bikini Bottom. 2,000 years later, everyone has been replaced by robotic people. This isn't the only time we see a future full of robots in the show. In the Season 7 episode, Back to the Past, SpongeBob time travels to an alternate future, where Man Ray takes over and people have been replaced by robots. There are also hints of robots in episodes set in the present. Mr. Krabs' fear of robot overlords is mentioned, and we see an exhibit showing the evolution of SpongeBob eventually being taken over by robots. So, there is a lot of evidence for a future where robots take over Bikini Bottom. Why are there so many robots in the show? In the episode, Tunnel of Glove, Patrick accidentally hits a button that causes robots to attack SpongeBob. In Good Neighbors, a home security system goes awry, and Squidward's house becomes sentient, wreaking havoc. And in Krusty Cleaners, a robot and nearby machines turn into evil robots. So, the question is, why are these places using advanced robots that are programmed to turn evil? After watching the episode, My Leg, I realized there might be an actual conspiracy theory here. It seems like someone is behind this robot invasion, and it's time to find out who. In this episode, called My Leg, there's a funny joke where one fish keeps hurting his leg. At one point, he goes to the hospital and meets a robot there, but it's just a small, funny moment. The robot doesn't become evil or do anything strange. There's something interesting about the robot's design. There was an episode called Plankton's Army, where Plankton tries to take the secret formula for the Krabby Patty with a disguised robot. These two robots look very similar, from their ties to their faces. Here's my theory. Plankton has built many robots to take the secret formula, but when he fails, he doesn't throw them away. Instead, he redesigns them and gives them to different businesses in Bikini Bottom, planning to use them one day to take over the world. Plankton actually wants to rule the world, not just have the secret formula. Let's look at some evidence. In a Season 3 episode called No Weenies Allowed, there's a robot working in a place called Weenie Hut Juniors. Listen to its voice. It sounds just like Plankton's robots. In the control room of Glove World, there's a machine that looks a lot like SpongeBob. In the episode Krusty Cleaners, the robot looks similar to Plankton's robot. In Econ Urchin, there's another robot that resembles Plankton's. And in The Patty Gadget, Squidward replaces SpongeBob with a machine that makes terrible Krabby Patties. Even in All That Glitters, SpongeBob buys a super spatula, and in another episode called Evil Spatula, Plankton has a whole collection of similar spatulas. He even tries to trick SpongeBob with a talking spatula. It seems like there's a connection between the technology in Bikini Bottom and Plankton. If you remember those glimpses of the future, all the citizens have been replaced by robot copies. Various attempts made by Plankton to turn people into robots before SpongeBob intervened. Plankton, also known as Robot Bob, grew frustrated with SpongeBob's incessant annoyance, leading him to give up his scheme. However, this was not his only endeavor. In the Season 11 episode, The Checkup, SpongeBob and Squidward carry out a health checkup on Mr. Krabs, which involved testing his pinching reflex. Curiously, one of the items they used for the test was a child's cheek, which turned out to be a robot. In the Season 9 episode, Plankton's Pet, Plankton employed the same baby robot disguise to steal a Krabby Patty. Going back even further to the Season 5 episode, Goo Goo Gas, we witnessed the exact moment when Plankton got the idea to transform the child into a robot. Another fish that has always seemed suspicious is the realistic news anchor fish. Despite inhabiting a world of cartoons, this particular fish stands out due to his realistic characteristics, especially the way his mouth mechanically moves. Additionally, he shares the same voice as Plankton, further fueling suspicions that he may be a robot. The Season 10 episode, Whirly Brains, provides a crucial clue regarding Plankton's method of replacing people with robots. In this episode, a popular toy called the Whirly Brain becomes all the rage in Bikini Bottom. The toy involves attaching a propeller to one's brain, causing it to fly out of their head. Astonishingly, nobody finds this practice suspicious. This serves as a perfect opportunity for Plankton to replace individuals with robots, as he previously revealed in the Season 1 episode, Welcome to the Chum Bucket, that he removes people's brains and implants them into his robot creations. Evidence linking Plankton to the Whirly Brain toys can be found in the stop-motion parody segments of the new SpongeBob Prequel, The Patrick Star Show. In these segments, Plankton employs Whirly Brains for his experiments, indicating a connection to the main show. Another gadget related to the head, the invisible helmet, appears in the Season 11 episode, Bottle Burglars, both as an advertisement and used by Plankton himself. The coincidence of Plankton using these devices strongly suggests his involvement in their creation and distribution among the citizens of Bikini Bottom. Finally, the most shocking revelation in this robot invasion theory concerns a main character, Patrick Star. There are instances where Patrick suddenly says something intelligent, only to immediately revert back to his usual dumb self. This has led many people to speculate and develop their own theories. Is Patrick secretly a genius pretending to be dumb? Have you ever noticed that every time Patrick attempts to think, there are sparks emanating from his head? Additionally, when we glimpse inside Patrick's mind, it is portrayed with gears and machinery. In the episode, Rule of Dumb, if you look closely, you can see a spring popping out of Patrick's head. Patrick unexpectedly exhibits intelligence. I noticed two types of moments. There are times when we initially believe he is being smart, only for it to be revealed that he is not. This aligns perfectly with Patrick's character, as he often deludes himself into thinking he is smart, even when he fails. After Season 3, Patrick switches from pretending to be smart to genuinely having these smart moments. This coincides with the Season 4 episode, Patrick's Smartypants, where Patrick falls off a cliff and has his head replaced with brain coral by SpongeBob. This incident temporarily turns Patrick into a genius. At the end of the episode, when the brain coral is removed, we can see the electrical plug still attached to it. This suggests the brain coral, like the Whirly Brains, is a robotic device that plugs into one's brain to control them. Is it possible that Plankton saw an opportunity to add another victim to his robot invasion and strategically placed the coral near Patrick? After Patrick removed it, he seemingly returned to normal and thwarted Plankton's plan. Well, in the Season 5 episode, Sing a Song of Patrick, Patrick attempts to use his brain again, and the same gears from the brain coral are portrayed inside his head. This indicates that the head Patrick put on at the end of Patrick's Smartypants was not his actual head but another piece of robotic brain coral. It appears that this new brain coral is not as effective as the first one, leading to Patrick having only rare moments of genius. In the Season 12 episode, SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, Patrick has another one of these smart moments, and interestingly, Plankton is there to witness it. Plankton even refers to Patrick, one of his broken experiments. Let me present a scene from the newest episode of Season 13, The Goofy Scoopers. Patrick expresses disappointment about not being able to go backstage for an autograph. Plankton was here. Plankton's presence strongly suggests that the robot invasion theory holds some truth. In conclusion, Patrick can be a robot. The evidence, from the visual representation of his thoughts to the recurring gears, points to this intriguing possibility.